Chosen one, everything is about to shift. Get ready. You've been feeling the rumble under your feet, haven't you? That quiet tension in the air. The invisible pull of something bigger moving through your life. It's not just your imagination. It's not just wishful thinking or a coincidence. You're standing on the edge of a massive shift, one that has been in the making for far longer than you realize. This isn't just change, it's transformation. And you, chosen one, have been prepared for this moment. Through every trial, every silence, every heartbreak, and every glimpse of the divine that has crossed your path. All of it was leading here. Before we dive deeper, I want to remind you to stay with this message until the very end. There is something powerful meant for your spirit in these words. And as you feel that energy rise within you, I encourage you to drop your warmest wishes and the number 77 in the comments. This isn't just a sign of hope. It's a spark that activates the energy of manifestation in your life. Your wishes matter. They are vibrations in motion, waiting to return to you multiplied. So let's send that energy into the universe together now. And everything that has felt stagnant, stuck, or paused is about to break loose. The walls around you that once felt like boundaries are becoming transparent. Your limitations were never permanent. They were only waiting for divine timing. You've been living in a season of preparation, a stretch of inner work, silence, and sometimes confusion. But that season is no longer your current reality. The shift is beginning. The alignment is unfolding. The pieces you couldn't fit together are starting to fall into place on their own. And what's remarkable is that this isn't just about outside circumstances changing. It's about who you are becoming in this process. There's a divine recalibration happening in your spirit. The old self that used to settle, question, and shrink is dissolving. A version of you that is more aligned, more courageous, more unshakable is emerging. And this new version doesn't ask for permission. It walks in purpose. It doesn't fear rejection. It recognizes redirection. It no longer chases validation. It radiates self-knowing. You might notice people distancing themselves. Don't take it personally. What's being removed now was only part of the previous chapter, not the next. As your frequency rises, certain connections will fall away. It's a law of energetic truth. Not everyone can go where you're going. This shift is not for everyone. It's for the awakened, the brave, the aligned. You're not being punished. You're being prepared. Everything that is being moved out of your life is making space for what's coming in. And what's coming in? It's clarity. It's breakthrough. It's the relationships that match your soul. It's the opportunities that align with your purpose. It's the healing you didn't even know you still needed. It's the abundance that's been circling you, waiting for your readiness. It's the divine timing finally saying now. This is the energy of release and receive. Let go of what no longer fuels your fire. Step into what has been reserved for your glow. There is a divine unraveling occurring. It's why you've been feeling emotions come up that you thought were already healed. It's why old memories have resurfaced, not to haunt you, but to be purged. This is a final sweep of your inner space, making room for fresh frequencies to take hold. You are not regressing. You're being upgraded. Your soul is reorganizing itself for the life that aligns with your highest truth. And even when it feels messy, even when it's unclear, trust that what you're experiencing is sacred. Trust that the discomfort is not a sign to retreat, but a signal that your spiritual muscles are being stretched. Growth doesn't always look graceful. Transformation often begins with tension. But this shift will not pass you by. You were chosen for this. Your name has been on the wind of this change, long before you ever heard its echo. You are the key. You've outgrown the cage they put you in. The stories, the expectations, the labels, they no longer fit. You've been playing small to make others comfortable, but that era is closing. The shift will challenge you to rise. It will ask you to say no more often, to walk away from what drains you, to speak your truth even when your voice shakes. This is the part where you stop apologizing for your light and start honoring your soul and everything you've gone through. The heartbreaks, the betrayals, the long nights of questioning was not wasted. It wasn't in vain. The pain had a purpose. It turned you into someone who sees beyond the surface, someone who feels energy before words, someone who knows that intuition is louder than logic. That is your gift. That is your edge in this coming shift. You can feel what others miss. You can sense what others ignore. Use that. In USE, your sensitivity as a compass. Use your solitude as a portal. Use your story as a torch. You're not just surviving, you're being summoned. There's a higher calling vibrating beneath your everyday life. A purpose that won't be silenced. You've always known you were meant for more, even when you didn't have the proof. Now, the proof is arriving. Slowly, then suddenly. Prepare yourself. Let this shift begin with how you speak to yourself. You are no longer the person who doubts every step. You are the one who recognizes when your soul says yes and follows that with full fire. You trust yourself now. You know that if you lose something, it wasn't yours. And if something finds its way back to you, it's because your energy called it home. This is the power you've been cultivating in silence. NTHE Universe responds to bold energy. This isn't the time to shrink. It's time to take the leap, send the message, start the project, end the cycle, move to the place your spirit keeps showing you in your dreams. Trust what you feel. Trust what's shifting. If you've been seeing signs, hearing inner whispers, or sensing that something big is around the corner, it's not paranoia. It's preparation. And when it feels like things are falling apart, remember, sometimes they're actually falling into place. What looks like endings may be beginnings in disguise. What feels like chaos may be divine choreography. You don't have to understand it all to honor it. You just have to stay open, grounded, and willing. Willing to evolve. Willing to let go. Willing to say yes to what's calling you next. This moment is not random. This timing is not accidental. This shift is tailor-made for your breakthrough. Get ready. Not with fear, but with fire. Not with hesitation, but with holy confidence. You were not created to blend in. You were built to stand out. The shift is coming, chosen one. And it's coming for you. There comes a moment in every chosen one's life where silence becomes sacred and waiting transforms into awakening. You may have thought nothing was happening in the stillness. You may have assumed that the universe had forgotten you, passed you by, or placed you in an endless holding pattern. But in truth, every delay was divine protection. Every pause was a preparation. The shift you are stepping into could not have unfolded before now because you weren't just waiting for it. It was waiting for you to become who you are now. NTHAT, feeling deep within, like something is moving beneath the surface, is real. You aren't imagining the energetic pressure. You aren't exaggerating the intensity of the spiritual nudges. What you're sensing is the buildup before the breakthrough. Think of an arrow. The greater the tension in the pullback, the farther it will fly when released. That tension in your life has been building for a reason. You're about to be launched forward in ways you never anticipated. NBUT, this launch won't look like fireworks. It will feel like alignment. You'll start to meet people who reflect your highest self. You'll stumble into opportunities that feel hand-designed for your soul. You'll look back and realize that the detours were the path. You'll no longer beg for doors to open. You'll walk through the ones made for you with boldness and clarity. This shift won't be loud to the world, but it will be undeniable to your soul. Many won't understand what's happening to you. That's okay. This transformation is between you and the unseen forces guiding your path. Others might think you've changed, and they're right. You have. You're not who you used to be. You've shed old skins, healed wounds that were once open, and walked through fires that would have broken others. That evolution doesn't need an explanation. Let your glow speak for itself. And it's time to stop explaining your energy to people who are committed to misunderstanding you. Let them go, not out of resentment, but out of reverence for where you're going. This next level isn't about convincing, it's about aligning. And the more you try to carry people who aren't meant for this next chapter, the heavier your spirit will feel. You've got to travel light now. This shift demands it. You may have already started noticing subtle changes, small wins, intuitive hits, conversations that suddenly open new doors. These aren't coincidences. These are confirmations. You're being guided, gently but powerfully, toward your destiny. Pay attention to those moments that make your soul feel alive. That's where your energy is most magnetic. That's where your power is activated. Then when challenges still come, and they will, understand they are not setbacks. They are shapeshifters in disguise. They refine your focus, test your resolve, and forge your resilience. The shift isn't about ease, it's about expansion. It's about breaking through old limits and discovering who you really are, when nothing can hold you back. And chosen one, you are not meant to be contained. NTHE world may try to shrink you, to fit you into boxes, labels, and roles that never matched your essence, but no more. The shift is calling you to move differently now, to speak differently, to think, walk, love, and lead differently. You are not just changing, you are ascending. And that means your vibration will rise above the noise, the drama, and the distractions that used to drain you. You'll notice that things that used to trigger you now feel distant. Conversations you used to entertain no longer appeal. Environments that once felt familiar begin to feel foreign. That's not a loss. That's a sign. Your frequency is evolving. Your energy is becoming more refined, more sacred, more focused. Protect it. Guard it. Don't dilute your power to fit where you no longer belong. This is a season of energetic discipline. Say no when it costs your peace. Walk away when it breaks your boundaries. Rest when your soul needs to recharge. You are not here to perform. You are here to embody. And that means giving yourself permission to live in your truth, fully and unapologetically. The shift demands authenticity, not perfection. You don't have to be flawless. You just have to be real. And real means messy sometimes. It means crying through breakthroughs. It means being afraid and still saying yes. It means starting again when you thought you were done. It means surrendering control so the higher plan can unfold. This kind of transformation asks everything of you, but it also gives you back tenfold. It gives you freedom, peace, alignment, power. You've spent so long holding yourself together for everyone else. Now, it's time to rise for yourself. To trust your intuition like it's your only compass. To follow the pull in your chest even when the road ahead is unclear. Because your soul already knows where you're going. And this shift? It's the universe finally catching up with your readiness. You're not just entering a new chapter, you're starting a new book. One where your past no longer dictates your potential. One where your future is shaped not by fear but by fire. One where you no longer wait for approval to live fully. You give yourself that permission. You create that door. You walk through it. And as you walk, expect miracles. Expect revelations. Expect sudden clarity that wipes away years of doubt. Expect the unexpected. Because the shift doesn't follow logic. It follows alignment. When your energy is clean, your path becomes clear. And right now, chosen one, your path is lighting up beneath your feet. You don't have to have it all figured out. You just need to be willing. Willing to evolve. Willing to be seen. Willing to let go of the identity built in survival and step into the one designed for expansion. This shift is already in motion, and it's waiting for your full yes. NSO, say yes. Say yes to your next level. Say yes to your purpose. Say yes to your power, because everything is about to shift. And you were born for this moment. You are stepping into an energy so rare, so radiant, that everything around you is being forced to recalibrate. The people, the circumstances, the very air around you. It all senses your internal transformation. You're becoming magnetic in ways that may feel unfamiliar, even overwhelming at times. That's because your frequency is no longer matching the old reality. You are tuning into something much more powerful, much more aligned, much more sacred. When everything begins to shift, the first thing you'll notice is that what once fulfilled you no longer feels the same. The distractions lose their thrill. The old comfort zones begin to itch. The spaces you once craved become too small for the expanded version of who you are becoming. That discomfort is not a punishment. It is a signal. It's the sign that you're outgrowing patterns that were only meant to serve you for a time, not forever. And this moment in your life is not just about receiving something new. It's about remembering something ancient within you. Something powerful. Something divine. You didn't come here to simply survive. You didn't choose this path to just exist. You came to shift realities, not only for yourself, but for those who will rise through your example. Your courage is creating a ripple that travels farther than you know. Your breakthrough is not just personal, it's generational. And because the shift is this important, the resistance you face will sometimes feel equally intense. That's not a coincidence. When you carry this much light, you draw out shadows, both within and around you. Do not be afraid of them. They are mirrors. They are teachers. They show you what is still being healed. They test the integrity of your transformation. They ask, are you truly ready to hold what you've been calling in? You don't pass these tests by pretending you're unaffected. You pass by standing firm in your truth, even when it shakes. You pass by speaking your needs, even when it's uncomfortable. You pass by protecting your peace, even when it means disappointing others. This is how you anchor the shift, by embodying it, not just when it's easy, especially when it's hard. You'll find yourself reevaluating everything. The way you spend your time, the way you speak to yourself, the way you let people treat you, the way you allow your energy to be accessed. This is sacred work. You are becoming your own sanctuary. You are becoming the place where peace resides, no matter what chaos may try to swirl around you. That is power. That is the essence of this shift. You're not looking for validation anymore. You're seeking resonance. And that's why some rooms now feel quieter. Some connections feel emptier. Some conversations feel forced. That's the universe recalibrating your surroundings to match your soul's new signature. The people who are meant for you will recognize your frequency. You won't have to shrink, explain, or bend. You'll simply be, and that will be more than enough. NTHE transition may feel lonely at times, but solitude is not a curse. It is a cocoon. It is where you shed the final remnants of what no longer serves and emerge in the fullness of your purpose. In that space, clarity arrives. Downloads flow. Direction reveals itself. You'll hear your own voice more clearly. You'll remember the sound of your spirit's language, and you'll trust it like never before. Let go of the belief that something outside of you is coming to save you. The shift you've been waiting for? It's already inside of you. It's in every decision you make to honor yourself. It's in every time you choose peace over chaos. It's in every boundary you set, every dream you pursue, every truth you speak, every time you show up for yourself even when no one else does. That's what activates the shift. That's what makes it real. You don't have to force your way through this transformation. You just have to allow it. Surrender is not weakness. It is the highest form of spiritual strength. It's saying, I trust the timing of my life, even when I don't understand it. It's saying, I know the universe has a plan, even when I can't see the map. It's saying, I believe there's more for me, and I'm ready to receive it with open hands and a willing heart. And when you truly surrender, miracles begin to move. Not just because you're doing something different, but because you're becoming someone different. You're becoming more you, more true, more whole, more in alignment with your original essence. That's the real shift. That's what everything has been leading to. This next version of you won't settle for half-hearted love, energy-draining commitments, or spaces that ignore your worth. This version of you chooses differently, speaks differently, moves differently. You don't chase, you attract. You don't seek approval, you radiate knowing. You don't live in fear, you live in faith, in flow, in fierce alignment with who you are meant to be. And when doubts creep in, as they sometimes will, remember this: you didn't come this far to turn back. You didn't walk through all that darkness just to stay dim. You were called forward for a reason. Every tear you cried was watering your next season. Every lesson you endured was preparing your heart to hold what's coming. Every moment of silence was stretching your spirit to receive more than you've ever imagined. NSO, breathe, center yourself. Ground into the knowing that you are exactly where you're meant to be. You are not behind. You are not lost. You are not too late. You are rising. You are expanding. You are preparing to meet the version of yourself that has been waiting on the other side of this shift all along. NTHE Universe does not make mistakes. Your timing is not random. Your journey is not wasted. You are being guided. Even when it feels like wandering, you are being shaped. Even when it feels like breaking. Trust that. Honor that. Celebrate that. And because chosen one, the shift is not coming. It's already here, and you are ready. And every day now, something is quietly aligning in your favor. You may not see it, but the universe is rearranging the details of your life, organizing people, moments, and decisions in perfect timing. This is the kind of alignment that only happens when you've surrendered the illusion of control and trusted in the unseen. The shift you're in is not meant to make sense to the world around you. It's designed specifically for your evolution. You're not stepping into a predictable season. You're stepping into a miraculous one. And this is where your faith becomes your foundation. Not just the kind of faith you speak about, but the kind you live, breathe, and embody even when things feel uncertain. You're being called to move forward, not because everything is perfect, but because your soul is ready. This isn't about waiting for the conditions to be ideal. It's about trusting that the power within you is greater than any circumstance you could face. This shift may not come with fanfare. It may not even be visible to anyone else at first. But within you, it's massive. It's the quiet confidence to walk away from what no longer serves you. It's the bold courage to choose yourself again and again, even when it's misunderstood. It's the peace you feel in your chest after choosing to stop explaining yourself to people who are not ready to understand your path. That is the evidence of transformation. And as things shift, your energy becomes your strongest currency. The way you protect it, where you place it, and who you allow to access it will determine the quality of your journey. Not everyone who witnessed your struggle is qualified to witness your rise. This new season requires more discernment than ever before. Protect your light not out of fear, but out of reverence. You've worked too hard to reclaim your power to let it be siphoned away. More you align with your truth, the more your external world will begin to mirror that truth. You'll start to attract situations, opportunities, and connections that reflect the inner clarity you've cultivated. But you must stay clear. You must stay focused. The shift will demand a new level of inner alignment. You cannot cling to old mindsets and expect new manifestations. The reality you desire lives on the other side of internal renovation. Let go of outdated beliefs that say you must struggle to be worthy. Release the idea that healing has to take years. Let go of the timelines that aren't yours. Stop waiting for a sign that already exists within you. The energy you're feeling right now is the sign. The alignment, the readiness, the stirring in your gut. It's all proof that you're on the brink of the breakthrough you've been praying for. And yes, the path may still have detours. Yes, the unknown may still make your heart race. But the version of you now is more equipped than ever. You've trained for this through heartbreaks, setbacks, quiet nights filled with tears, and mornings where you still rose even when you didn't feel like it. You've been strengthened by every no, every closed door, every lesson disguised as loss. That strength wasn't for nothing. It was for this. You are not who you were when this journey began. Your capacity has expanded. Your understanding has deepened. You don't need constant, external confirmation because your inner compass has never been more alive. You can feel the shift before it fully arrives because your soul is tapped in. And it's not just telling you to get ready, it's telling you to move now, to align now, to claim now. This is not rehearsal. This is your moment. It's time to silence the inner critic that still tries to keep you small. It's time to stop asking for permission to become who you already are. The world may try to question your pace, your path, your purpose. But you know better. You know that you are not on this path for approval. You're here to fulfill a calling that was placed within you long before you had the words to describe it. And the truth is, chosen one, many won't understand how you got here. They won't see the internal battles you've won. They won't understand the pain that carved your wisdom. They won't feel the fire that kept you moving when everything around you was falling apart. But that's okay. This is not about being understood. It's about being aligned. You didn't come here to convince. You came to embody. Embody the shift. Let it show in how you walk, how you speak, how you protect your time and your energy. Let it show in your boundaries, your intentions, your softness and your strength. Let your very presence become the evidence that you are living in your purpose. You don't need to explain your growth. Your peace will speak for you. Your joy will radiate. Your elevation will be undeniable. This isn't the time to shrink, delay, or hide. This is the time to move, to trust, to flow. You've spent enough time preparing. The shift is already underway. Your only job now is to stay aligned with it. Stay centered in your power. Stay committed to your highest self. And know this, even when it feels like you're stepping into the unknown, you are being carried. This shift will require you to walk by inner vision, not outer sight. To speak life into your future, even when it's still unfolding. To honor the whispers of your soul more than the noise of the world. You don't need every detail to move forward. You just need trust. Deep, soul-level trust in your divine path. That's what separates those who rise from those who remain stuck. You are not stuck, you are being stretched. You are not confused. You are being refined. You are not lost. You are being redirected. Every redirection is sacred. Every delay holds hidden purpose. And even the things that felt like endings are secretly part of the arrival. Nothing is wasted. Nothing is random. It's all being used to shift you into a life that fully reflects your light. NSO, take a deep breath. Ground yourself in the knowing that you are right on time. And as everything begins to change around you, choose to remain anchored in your truth. Let your light expand, let your heart lead, and let the shift unfold without resistance. Because this is it. You're in the transition. And what comes next will change everything. This moment in your journey is sacred. It's not loud. It's not always visible. But it's undeniably powerful. You're being elevated in quiet ways that the outside world may not yet recognize, but your soul knows. You can feel it when you wake up in the middle of the night, thoughts racing, heart stirring, sensing that something massive is drawing near. That's not anxiety. That's anticipation. That's the sacred preparation before divine acceleration. You see, everything begins with energy. Before the external catches up, the internal aligns. The shift you're in is first happening in your spirit, in your thoughts, in your ability to release what no longer matches your frequency. And this part, the part that's quiet, internal, spiritual, is the most important, because this is where your foundation is built. This is where the roots deepen. And only what is deeply rooted can grow tall enough to carry the abundance coming your way. You are being called to move differently now, not with desperation or fear, but with divine certainty, with quiet power. You are learning to pause before reacting, to listen before speaking, to trust yourself before seeking outside opinions. That's maturity, that's mastery. And that is the energy of the chosen. You no longer fight for crumbs because you now remember that you are the table. You no longer chase what rejects you because you now understand rejection is protection in disguise. There's a subtle strength building inside of you. You've begun to notice that your triggers no longer pull you the way they once did, that certain conversations bore you, that chaos no longer excites you. That peace now feels more addictive than drama ever did. This is not a coincidence. It is the evidence that your soul has leveled up. Your nervous system is no longer tolerating low frequencies. You are finally living in alignment with what you once only dreamed of. NBUT, as you rise, not everyone will celebrate with you. Some will distance themselves. Some will criticize you. Some will question the path you're on. But remember, elevation exposes everything. Your growth makes some people uncomfortable, not because you're doing anything wrong, but because you're doing what they haven't yet found the courage to do. Stay kind, but don't shrink. Stay grounded, but don't retreat. The shift requires you to keep going. You're learning now that silence is a weapon, that not everything deserves a response, that your peace is more valuable than your need to prove a point. And when you master this, when you stop performing for approval, you gain something far more valuable than attention. You gain freedom, emotional, spiritual, and energetic freedom. That is the real wealth. This is also the part of the shift where the old you begins to fully dissolve, not because you hate that version of yourself, but because you've outgrown the survival patterns that version needed. You don't have to be in a constant state of defense anymore. You don't have to hustle for your worth. You don't have to dim your light to avoid making others uncomfortable. You are allowed to stand tall. You are allowed to speak with power. You are allowed to exist in your fullness. You've waited long enough. You've over-explained, over-apologized, and overcompensated for far too long. Now you're choosing stillness over scrambling. Now you're choosing clarity over chaos. You're choosing to move in sync with your spirit instead of the expectations of others. That choice, that shift, is everything. And it changes not just your path, but the energy you emit. It magnetizes the blessings that are already circling you. You'll start to see it in small ways first. A random message that reminds you you're on track. A conversation that unlocks something. A delay that reveals a deeper truth. Pay attention. The shift doesn't always announce itself with lightning. It sometimes whispers through subtle redirections. Stay awake to the signs. They're everywhere right now. Not to confuse you, but to confirm you're aligned. And even if you're still walking through uncertainty, even if you're not entirely sure what's next, trust that you're being held. Not by chance, not by luck, but by divine orchestration. You're not walking alone, you've never been. And this next chapter will prove that in ways that take your breath away. Let the old fall away. Let what's fading stay gone. You don't need to go back and retrieve it. If it walked away, it was never part of the elevation. Let go of the urge to explain yourself. The ones who are meant to walk with you won't need an explanation. They will recognize you by energy, by alignment, by essence, and they will match you, not drain you. This new era will not resemble the past. The way you used to manifest, the way you used to cope, the way you used to navigate conflict. It's all evolving. You are not starting over. You are starting from experience. And with that experience comes wisdom. You now know what aligns and what doesn't, what gives life and what drains it, what feels like home and what feels like distortion. That knowledge is priceless. That knowledge is what makes this shift sustainable. This is where you learn to say no, not out of fear, but out of power. This is where you learn to rest without guilt, to receive without shame, to walk away without closure. This is where you stop fighting for scraps and start claiming the feast that was always meant for you. And not because you've earned it in a worldly sense, but because your soul is finally in a state to hold it without breaking. It's not just about reaching a goal. It's about becoming the person who can sustain what's coming. And that person is already emerging. In your decisions, in your silence, in your ability to hold tension without reacting, in your willingness to walk away from anything that interrupts your peace. This is power. This is alignment. This is the shift. You are learning now that elevation comes with responsibility, that having power means knowing when to use it and when to stay still, that not everything deserves your time, your attention, or your explanation. You've outgrown proving. Now you're rooted in being, and that level of embodiment is rare. It's magnetic. It's unshakable. That's who you are becoming. NSO, stay open, stay fluid, stay anchored in your knowing. There is more coming your way, more than you can imagine. And not just because you've worked hard, but because your frequency is finally in sync with your calling. You are no longer surviving, you are shifting. And the world is about to feel your presence in a whole new way. Right now, you are existing between who you were and who you are becoming. And that space is sacred. It's the in-between, the place where things feel like they're changing, but you can't quite see the full picture yet. And that's okay. The shift doesn't always arrive with a loud bang. Sometimes it's a quiet unfolding, moment by moment, like a dawn that breaks slowly across the horizon. At first, you barely notice it, but once it rises, everything is illuminated. And just like that sunrise, your internal light is growing stronger. You're starting to realize that the version of you that once sought validation, approval, and understanding is no longer driving the ship. Instead, there's a calm, wise, intuitive part of you stepping forward. This is the real you, the one who was buried beneath trauma, conditioning, and fear. You're not becoming someone new. You're finally returning to who you've always been. That's what this shift is doing. It's peeling back layers of illusion. It's dissolving the stories you've been told, the expectations you tried to meet, and the roles you played to stay safe. And though it can feel unsettling, disorienting even, it's also liberating. Because the truth is lighter than the mask. And your truth is more powerful than any persona you ever had to wear. You are remembering your worth, not because someone is giving it to you, but because you've stopped giving it away. You no longer tie your value to who stays or who claps. You no longer need external metrics to affirm your journey. You feel it in your bones. You feel it in your breath. You feel it when you look in the mirror and see your own reflection with reverence, not resistance. And with this remembrance comes responsibility. To speak your truth without shrinking. To honor your boundaries without guilt. To trust your intuition even when others doubt it. This level of authenticity isn't always easy, but it is always right. You are not meant to abandon yourself for acceptance. You are not born to bend just to keep the peace. You are designed to stand in your light, even when it casts shadows on the illusions around you. And as you continue through this shift, you'll find that the world starts responding differently. New doors open, old patterns lose their grip. People begin to meet you at your new frequency, or they fall away. Don't resist either outcome. Let what's meant for you rise to meet you. Let what's misaligned fall back into the past. This isn't about loss, it's about clarity. The more you become yourself, the more your life begins to reflect that. And yes, there will still be moments of doubt. That's normal. Transformation is not linear. Some days you'll feel unstoppable, and others you'll wonder if anything's really changing. But every step counts. Every day you choose authenticity over approval, clarity over comfort, growth over safety. You're deepening the shift. You're locking it in. You're becoming NTHE. Most powerful part of this journey is not what the world sees. It's how you feel inside your own skin. It's waking up and not needing to escape your life anymore. It's feeling peace where there used to be panic. Stillness where there used to be noise. Gratitude where there used to be lack. That's abundance. That's transformation. That's your new normal. You are learning to live with intentionality now. To choose where your energy goes. To invest only in what truly feeds your spirit. You're no longer interested in performance. You're more concerned with presence. You want connection, not consumption. Purpose, not pressure. Realness, not recognition. And because of that shift, everything around you is adapting. You're attracting different experiences because you've become different energy. There's a quiet wisdom growing inside of you, the kind that doesn't rush, the kind that doesn't chase, the kind that knows what's meant for you will find you because it's already connected to your frequency. You don't need to grasp anymore. You just need to align, and that's the most liberating feeling in the world. NSO, continue shedding, continue surrendering, continue listening. The more you let go, the lighter you become. And the lighter you become, the more room there is for your spirit to rise. You don't have to carry it all. You don't have to prove yourself anymore. You're already worthy, you're already chosen, you're already aligned. And that's why things are shifting. Because the universe mirrors your readiness. It echoes your energy. It doesn't respond to what you want. It responds to what you embody. And now that you're embodying truth, power, and peace, the external world has no choice but to rise to meet that vibration. This is also the time to protect your vision. Not everyone will understand what you're building. Not everyone will support your next step. But that's okay. Your vision wasn't given to them. It was given to you. And it's not your job to convince anyone. It's your job to become the person who lives it out. In silence, in strength, in steady belief. Some people will question your calm. They'll wonder how you're so peaceful during chaos. That's because they don't understand the battles you've already won in private. You've walked through storms that would have crushed others. And now, you carry peace not because life is easy, but because you've chosen it. You've created it. and you protect it like the sacred thing it is. This shift you're in is not about status, performance, or popularity. It's about soul. It's about remembering why you're here. It's about stripping away the noise so you can hear the quiet guidance that never left. It's about following your own rhythm, even when it looks different from what the world expects. You are stepping into a timeline where your power is fully reclaimed, where your decisions are no longer made from fear, where your life is no longer built on obligation but on joy, where your soul no longer waits for permission, it leads. And when you lead from that place, when you let your soul set the pace, everything around you transforms to match your frequency. That's the real shift, not in the world, but within you. Because when the inner world changes, the outer world has no choice but to follow. NSO. Keep going. Keep rising. Keep listening. You are not broken. You are breaking free. You are not lost. You are being led. And the direction you're heading? It's nothing short of divine. This is the moment where you stand fully in your becoming. After all the lessons, the letting go, the trials and transformations, you have arrived at the threshold of something entirely new. You're no longer clinging to old timelines. You're no longer mourning doors that were divinely closed. Instead, you're stepping boldly into what is unfolding. Not because you have all the answers, but because you finally trust yourself enough to move without needing them. NTHE shift isn't ahead of you anymore. It's not coming someday. It's here. And you feel it in every part of your being. You feel it when your spirit stays calm in chaos. You feel it when your boundaries speak louder than your words. You feel it when your decisions are rooted in inner knowing, not external pressure. That's the proof, that's the sign the old you has expired. The new you is already activated. And now, you get to build from this foundation. A life built not on illusion, but intention. A path not carved by fear, but guided by inner truth. Relationships chosen not out of loneliness, but alignment. Moves made not out of desperation, but resonance. You are finally at the point where you are no longer reacting, you are creating. That is the essence of the shift. You're no longer surviving the waves. You are learning to walk on them. You no longer entertain anything that feels like resistance. That job, that connection, that environment. You know instantly when something doesn't align, and you trust that knowing. You don't stay out of guilt. You don't push out of pride. You walk away in peace. That clarity is a gift of your elevation. It's what happens when you've done the inner work. It's what happens when your soul starts leading. And with this new clarity comes a powerful responsibility to keep showing up for yourself, not just when it's easy, especially when it's not, because there will still be days that test your progress. There will be moments that try to pull you back into old energy, old reactions, old beliefs. But now you have the tools, now you have the awareness, now you know how to respond with intention rather than react from programming. This is what you've been preparing for. This is why you were delayed, why things didn't work out the first time, why you had to let go of what you once begged for. It was never rejection, it was redirection. You were never behind, you were being aligned. The things that didn't stay weren't meant to carry your light. The shift required them to fall away so you could finally see your own reflection without distortion. Because now, you see yourself clearly. You're not confused about your worth anymore. You're not waiting for someone to choose you. You've chosen yourself. You've said yes to your calling. You've looked fear in the eye and kept walking. You've felt alone and still risen. You've been doubted and still delivered. That's strength. That's resilience. That's divine preparation. And it's also why your energy is so different now. Why people can sense something has changed, even if they can't put their finger on it. You are no longer who you were. You're operating from a higher frequency. And that frequency creates a ripple. It inspires, it awakens, it draws in what is meant and clears out what is not. You've become magnetic to your truth. No more chasing. No more convincing. No more tolerating what drains you just to maintain peace. You've learned the most sacred lesson, that peace isn't something you find. It's something you choose. It's something you protect. And now you are choosing it with every yes, every no, every boundary, every moment of rest. That is your new normal. And what a beautiful normal it is. One where you speak your truth without shaking, where you trust your timing without anxiety, where you lead with your heart without fear of being misunderstood. One where your presence alone is the evidence of your alignment. You don't have to prove your growth. It shows. This version of you is here to lead, not just others, but yourself. You are your own guide now. You trust your pace. You honor your needs. You build from purpose, not pressure. You rise from love, not fear. You move with clarity, not chaos. You are the calm in the center of the storm. You are the light in your own tunnel. You are the shift you've been waiting for. And so now, chosen one, your path clears. Not because it suddenly got easier, but because you finally stopped resisting it. You accepted it. You owned it. And in doing so, you opened the gates to what was always meant for you. The right people. The aligned opportunities. The new chapters. The blessings that felt delayed, but were simply waiting for you to match their frequency. It's all unfolding now. Not because the universe changed, but because you did. You became the version of you who no longer begs for crumbs, but claims the table. Who no longer waits for life to happen, but creates it. Who no longer seeks permission, but lives in purpose. This is your time, not next year. Not when everything makes sense. Now. As you are. In the middle of your becoming. The shift didn't just happen to you. It happened for you. And now, it happens through you. NSO. Breathe. Smile. Stand tall. Everything is shifting, and you are finally ready.